evening. The time is 6:30 p.m. The regular meeting of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Freehold for March 2nd, 2026 is now called to order. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided at least 48 hours prior to commencement of this meeting pursuant to provisions of Chapter 231 of the laws of 1975, the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of the time, date, and location of this meeting has been provided by posting a copy of the public meeting dates on the municipal bulletin board, by sending a copy to the Asbury Park Press and the Star Ledger, and by filing a copy with the municipal clerk. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand for a salute to the flag, followed by a moment of silence. Chief Collier, please lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Kane.
Here.
Councilman DeBenedetto.
Here.
Councilman Friedman.
Here.
Councilwoman Jordan. Here. Councilman Reich.
Here.
Councilwoman Rogers. Here. Councilwoman Shuster.
Here.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Item 4 on our agenda is a workshop discussion. Review request of municipal zoning code section 18.72.050F. I'd like to ask our administrator, Steve Gallo, just to set this up for us.
Sure, I certainly appreciate that, Mayor. We had a request from a citizen who asked that we consider modifications to the ordinance that governs placement of vehicles, not cars, but trailers, boats, RVs, those types of items in your driveway. I expect that we have a number of citizens here, so we might want to begin with hearing from them in terms of their comments and what they'd like to say.
Sure. Just please come up, state your name and address for the record. Go one at a time.
I also have some documents for everybody,
Okay.
if I can provide that.
Yeah, you can hand them out.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
So my name is Angela Vlasky. I'm at 38 Morris Street. Good evening, Mayor Kane and council members. Thank you for adding this to tonight's agenda. I'm a longtime resident of Freehold Borough, growing up here, and now residing with my wife, 2 children, and 2 dogs. I'm here this evening as an active member of our community to respectfully request a modification be made to the Municipal Code 18.72.050, Section 9, which prohibits storing boats and recreational vehicles in residential driveways positioned in the front yard. For clarity, this is Chapter 18, reviewing design and use regulation generally, and the subchapter for other general provisions. I understand that the borough's intent is to maintain neighborhood aesthetics, but I want to draw attention to how this regulation creates hardships for many residents. While this code does not restrict the storage options for many of the historic homes in town that are built with driveways that go from the side to the rear of the property, this code does restrict other homeowners like myself with more modern homes with only a front yard driveway. In order to store our recreational equipment, we would need to utilize a storage facility. And I'd like to point out that the nearest storage facility is outside of the borough, which means residents are forced to not only spend money elsewhere rather than supporting local businesses, but it becomes a logistical hardship as well. This also affects our working residents. Freehold Borough is a working town with contractors, landscapers, and tradespeople who operate from their homes and depend on storing work trailers on their property. This regulation creates both a financial burden and a practical obstacle for them running their businesses effectively. I'm not asking for the regulation to be eliminated entirely. Instead, I'm proposing that we look at how the neighboring Freehold Township handles this for modification. They use a weight-based approach, prohibiting vehicles over 10,000 pounds in front yard driveways. Most family boats and RVs are well under this limit, and we could adopt similar language also that will include safety requirements, such as maintaining clear sight lines for traffic, and it would balance community standards with practical homeowner needs and respecting residents' property rights to use their driveways for reasonable purposes. I've provided written details with specific proposed language for your consideration. The key changes would be to allow boats and RVs under 10,000 pounds to be stored in your front yard driveway, requiring them to be properly maintained, and ensuring that they do not obstruct driver sight lines or traffic safety. As a supportive member of Frail Borough who participates actively in the community, I believe this modification would benefit many residents while maintaining our town's character. I'm happy to answer questions and hope to be invited to work with you on this. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
I have a question. You want to wait till later, or?
Yeah, I was gonna say, anybody else want to talk about this, or you want to just go through questions now?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. The governing body is going to be reviewing.
Need your name and address for the record.
Yes, thank you. George Schnurr, 307 Park Avenue in Freehold Borough. The governing body is going to be reviewing this particular code, section 18-72-050F this evening, and I'd like to share with the mayor and council my thoughts on this matter. The municipal code restricting the open storage of boats, recreational vehicles, and other equipment in the front yards is designed to protect the overall appearance and property values within the community. By limiting what can be stored in these highly visible areas, the code helps maintain a clean and orderly streetscape. Front yards are a shared visual environment, and when they become cluttered with large vehicles or equipment, it can detract from the neighborhood's character and make the area feel less cared for. Ensuring that only used, registered automobiles are parked in driveways helps keep the neighborhood looking consistent and prevents long-term storage from spilling into public view. The rules also support fairness and livability among residents. I might also throw in that if you have an RV or a large boat on a corner lot, you can also restrict sight lines, so it becomes a safety problem as well. By requiring that vehicles for sale, which is also part of this code, be displayed only on driveways, the code prevents front yards from turning into informal sales lots, which could disrupt the residential feel of the area. Overall, I think the existing code balances individual property rights with the collective interest of maintaining an attractive, safe, and cohesive community environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, if there's no one else, I'd just like to make a few comments before you begin discussing this. The first is that we have 4 notices of violations that were recently issued in the community as part of our enhanced enforcement efforts for code enforcement. As you're aware, we're putting a greater emphasis and focus on violations in the community. None of these have been written summons. These are held in abeyance pending this discussion. And the ordinance that governs this is long-standing. It's not new. This has not been introduced since I've been here. It's been in part of our ordinance for quite some time. And I have a question for council on something that just popped into my head. If an individual wanted a variance from this ordinance, could they apply to the land use board, and would that be appropriate for them to get permission to put something in their driveway?
Yeah, I could also defer to our planner, but in my opinion, yeah, they could ask for like any other ordinance, for permission to park there.
Barb, do you have any comments on
They
that?
could ask for variance relief. In reviewing such application, we would bring up parking. The front yard, the driveway is typically providing at least 2 parking spaces for the home. So if one is occupied, by a vote on long-term storage, where does the second vehicle park? So those would be questions that would be raised. It would be the visual intrusion, it would be, what does that do to your parking available to your home, things of that nature.
So there's already a mechanism to request relief from this ordinance without changing the ordinance. And the second thing I'd like to point out is the importance of having available space in your driveway during the recent snow emergency, which we encouraged everyone to use what they had. And in cases where people were occupying their driveway with trailers or other devices, they couldn't use it for parking, which would lead to cars being on the street. So I think first and foremost, we should understand that driveways are for parking your cars. But this is certainly an intriguing question, and we should certainly discuss it.
Mr. Mayor?
Do you have anything, Councilor?
Just a reference was made in the letter that was submitted to the Freehold Township ordinance, and it's my reading of that ordinance is that Freehold Township, it does prohibit vehicles exceeding 10,000 pounds, but then it's and/or. It also prohibits the parking of boats, trailers, and equipment in the front yard of a residential area. So I think it's a misreading of that ordinance to indicate that owning boats, for example, or trailers over 10,000 pounds would be prohibited. My reading of it is it prohibits all boats, trailers, or equipment from being parked in the front yard of a residential zone.
Hey, Councilman Benedetto, you had
Yes, I kind of understand your feelings. There are a lot of houses. Our town is unique because we do have only frontage for parking. Some people on other blocks don't even have parking lots, don't even have a driveway, as a matter of fact. If we did look into doing this, there would have to be some kind of setback from the curb line. There would be how much of the frontage of your house you could pave, what you could pave it with. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes in. I'm trying to think, Steve, we have some property at the DPW, it probably won't be ours. For most of the time, it's in use during the summertime, I would think. If it's an RV or a camper, but could the borough have a spot for them to rent out? Could the Little League rent out some of their parking lot?
Well,
I'm trying to think of a way to.
Sure.
The VFW does rent, just by the county jail. They have RVs up there. I'm trying to think of an out for you because my lot's small too. Unfortunately, I couldn't fit an RV, but I couldn't get behind my property line either.
Yeah. I appreciate you thinking outside the box to come up with a solution. We do have property. It is not in the borough, it's in the township, but we'd have to assess whether or not that would be an appropriate use and understand the insurance ramifications and take a look at it. It would be an interesting service to offer, but it would also generate additional traffic. We'd have to talk about it.
I mean, we have community gardens, so like community
Sure.
recreational.
It would certainly require an indemnification agreement, an agreement that, we're not responsible for it, that no bailment is created, and so on and so forth. But it's worth discussing,
Anybody else on council?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Nope, that's you.
As you know, I'm well aware of your property, and I have spoken to you personally about my admiration of the way you keep it and the improvements that you've made, and how much I admire what you've done in keeping up your property. If, in fact, every resident did the same, this wouldn't be so much of an issue. Because I know that no matter what you do there, will be okay as far as aesthetics is concerned. However, we have the whole town to consider, and we've had terrible issues with this. We've had issues of these things blocking the view of school buses, and kids not being able to see the school bus coming, or the school bus not being able to see them, and
through the years, we've had issues with this kind of a thing. So whatever the decision is made, I hope you know it's not personal, that we have to look at the entire town and consider the ramifications as these speakers have said. But certainly, I'm happy to publicly say you're to be commended for the way you keep your property and the improvements that you've made.
Thank you.
I'm gonna take a different opinion of this. I think that potentially speaking, the ordinance could be reworked to allow for such a parking in the driveway, but I think there'd have to be a certain number of restrictions on it. For instance, I do think that the idea of having a setback requirement would be ideal, meaning that such a vehicle could not be forward of a certain line on the property to make sure that sight lines were kept clear, to make sure that sidewalks were kept clear and whatnot. I also think that in regards to residential parking, potentially speaking, the ordinance would have to be written so that the space available for an RV or a boat or whatnot was above the minimum required for residential parking. So for instance, if you're required to have 2 parking spots off-street, so your driveway is required to house 2 cars, you would still have to have those 2-car parking spots. That this would be like, for instance, if you had a wide enough driveway to fit the RV and 2 cars. Because you still have to maintain that residential parking on your property. Garages count as a parking spot. But I think that it's going, at one side it's going to potentially limit what properties this would apply to, but at the same time it would also keep to the necessity to have off-street residential parking available for cases like, for instance, our Stones Grove, where we've asked residents to move their cars onto their properties to, to make sure the streets are clear. I'm very curious to see what Freehold Township thought about when they wrote the ordinance, because you're right, it does say and or. It's not, it does say no vehicles over 10,000 pounds and or the parking of boats, trailers, and equipment. So I don't know if that was kind of them circling back to include this, to restrict the same thing or not. I'd be interested to see, I was reading through your packet, and one of the questions you stated was how many residents do you think this affects? I'd be interested to see exactly how many residents this affects, and whether or not such an ordinance could be reworked to accommodate some or majority of them, maintaining sightlines, parking, setbacks, and things like that. But I do also appreciate the idea of potentially trying to find a communal lot in the borough, which would satisfy the need to have parking. I know that for the most part, boats are usually kept on dry dock during the winter months. If you have a boat, you probably want to put it in the water when you can use it. RVs are a little bit more here or there. You might be traveling during the winter, you might be traveling during the summer. It's not really something static. But potentially speaking, there could be a restriction for when such a vehicle could be kept on driveways. Like for instance, if it was boats, that it would be during the winter months, but not during the summer months. I don't know for sure, but I don't think this is for me at least, this is not a straight, no, it wouldn't work. I think I think I'd like to see a little more information and data to see, could we make it work, both on private properties, and could we also find a spot or contract to have a spot in town that would also be used for, RV or boat parking. I think what Councilman DiBenedetto brought up was a pretty good idea about trying to find a happy medium.
Sorry, is it okay if I speak?
Come on, yeah, do the same thing. You can certainly come up.
To the podium, name and address, please.
Hi, I'm Megan Valesky, 38 Morris Street. I was just gonna say, we even looked at different options. We looked at purchasing property. We would start a business. We are business people. There's nothing available. There's nothing in Freehold Borough. There's nothing in Freehold Township for the storage sites. There's nothing available.
Yeah.
So we have to go outside of that. So to be able to go and take a trip, we have to travel, 30 minutes to go get our trailer, bring it back, try to load it up, and then it's just, we got excited about this recreation opportunity for our family, and now it's like, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna make it work?
I have a question. On if that was asphalted, can you put it alongside the garage on the right-hand side? Am I looking at 38th, right? You have a two-car garage on the right side of the building? of that?
Yeah.
To the right of the house, to the back of that wooden fence?
That's a pool.
It's a pool mat.
That's a swimming pool.
No, you have a side yard. Then you have the fence.
That's what we'll make sure. So if you're looking at the house to the right, it's now a vinyl fence that's in front of a.
It's an old picture. My bad.
Though even, I mean, we were looking at different options, but it's restricted to, from what I remember, it's restricted to driveways, but it can't go beyond your house. And so looking through the borough, it's like, so many people have the option to do this because they have the side driveways, we just don't. Our driveway's in front of our garage, and it restricts us completely from having anything that would be a recreation.
So you move the vinyl fence forward,
It's in the same spot, just in that side yard now, there's,
side yard is the pool.
can't park it in there.
How long's the vehicle you have?
We actually got it, we had to go below the 30-foot line so that we could stay within our driveway, and we specifically got a 28-foot trailer because our driveway is 28 feet. And we had seen, throughout the community, other people had them, it hasn't been an issue for 5-10 years, so we just went for it thinking it would be fine, so.
And keeping it somewhere else would be, within a 5-minute ride would be okay?
If that's an option, for me at least, yeah. But if there isn't anything right now, I would
The
enjoy it.
VFW does, I have a number you can call,
Yeah.
for the time being.
Like knows a guy.
I'm all about the guys that you know. We'll take any suggestions. Like I said, when we were looking outside of our home, it increases significant travel and hardship when you're trying to do, the reason we got it was short, easy trips. Let's go.
Right.
Let's go on a trip. Let's take the kids. We have a weekend. And then it just, it changes it completely.
So,
Okay.
kind of what, I just want to, so what I'm hearing right now, I'd like to, if, instead of just saying yes and no right this minute, Steve, you had a great idea about taking it to planning to see about a variance. Adam had some good suggestions, as did Mike. Maybe we can kick it back to our professionals, ask them to take a deep dive into the ordinance, see what we can do, and then revisit this.
What I was gonna suggest, is that we kick it to our public safety committee, I mean, because it's code enforcement, it's police enforcement, for certain. What happens when you try to do something like this, there's collateral damage on the other side that you don't think about. So what we try to do is work it through, like Steve put on tonight, to work it through in a workshop setting. What I'd like to do is suggest that we kick it to our public safety committee and get input from you, anybody else that wants to feed input into it, and come up with some ideas, like Mike was saying, think outside the box a little bit and see if there are options without creating a situation that we're gonna regret.
Of course.
And then we make that decision.
Yeah.
So we're gonna work, to try to figure something out, maybe some options, if the VFW is an option, that's real close to your
Sure.
house, it's a 2-minute drive from your
Yeah.
house. But anyway, not saying that, but I wanna kick it to that, to that committee, let them vet it, come up with some ideas, come back to us, and then we can figure
Sure.
something out, if that's good with everybody. Anybody else have any comments?
Yeah, I just have a quick comment, because, while we understand your concern, that there's a concern on the other side too. There are people complaining about these big vehicles and the commercial vehicles being parked in yards invisible from the street, and like Sharon said earlier, blocking views and not being maintained. So we have to look at both sides of things. Well, we feel for you. I only have a front yard parking or side yard parking as well. We can only fit our 2 cars in there, but we have to consider both sides. And so when people come to us and ask for enforcement or ask for a change, there's already somebody who came to us from the other perspective, saying, you gotta do something about this, it looks bad, and Sharon's saying you maintain your yard well, and I'm sure you do, but there's somebody out there saying that they shouldn't be allowed to park these vehicles. When they park these vehicles down the street, it causes and drive these vehicles down the street, it causes a problem. So we have to look at both sides of the issue. So like Sharon said, it's not a personal thing, it's what is the best solution for the community. So hopefully we can come up with some solutions,
Yeah.
you know, that'll work for people who have and you aren't the only one. I saw another comment from someone who's lived here a long time, and they've always had an RV in New York. But we've been asked to step up code enforcement, and that's what we've done.
Right.
So now these things are coming to light, and there are gonna be more things like this as we continue to roll out, you know,
Right.
how code enforcement was supposed to be.
Yeah, and I appreciate that you would want things up to standard. Clearly, you know, we take pride in our community and our home, we want it to look good.
Right.
And maybe having a permit process, we're willing to, you know, if you want any input from the community, we're absolutely
Yeah,
willing to do the
Absolutely.
research behind it as well. So, as Angela said, like, we want to be a part of it, we want to be a part of the solution if there is one.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Mr. Gallo if you could, you know, run this through our public safety committee.
I will, sir. And I will also survey our colleagues on the Municipal Managers Association and see what other towns do, and see if there's a creative solution that we can come up with that,
That
addresses the issue.
Our professionals to make sure. that
Sure.
we're, I think, right.
I just want to say that I really appreciate the fact that you come up with an issue that you have in town and you presented the options to investigate. Well, whoever it is, I really appreciate the fact that it's not just, I have a problem with this, what are you going to do about it? It's, I have a problem with this, I want to work with you to make this work. That's the kind of relationship that we hope to have with our residents, and it works a lot better when it's not just one-sided. There's gonna have to be a give and take, there's gonna have to be some sort of middle ground, and it may come out that it doesn't work out the way that you want it to, but I really appreciate the fact that you came. I love the Q&As. The A's are specifically what I love the most, but I really appreciate the fact that you came with some research behind it and some background information and whatnot, and I know that shows that the passion that you have behind what you're presenting to us. It's not just a flash in the pan, I have an issue I want it solved. This is something that I think that can be looked at to be reworked or to be adjusted or whatnot. So I really appreciate the information you came with.
And Steve, you have Angela's and.
I do have their contact information. We've corresponded already, and we'll continue to do so. Look for us to have a report for the council for the first meeting in April.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now,
Wait.
which one of you is the daughter of the library worker we have? I see the likeness now, they,
She's watching the kids right now.
lovely lady.
My name is Lawrence Mosako from 13 Edgewood, and I'll keep it brief because I appreciate all the time you guys have already taken on this matter. I live in the borough, and we've had our camper for 5 years on our property, and I'm again very appreciative of you guys considering making some of these potential variations or changes. But really, it's like the reason why we got into RVing is because we have 3 small kids, and at this point, with our finances and whatnot, that's our way of travel. That's our way of taking vacations with our family. But again, if we were forced to, the same as West, if we were forced to move it off the property, it's gonna be, eat into a lot of those savings that we're trying to take advantage of doing, camping and RVing. So again, we appreciate your consideration and look forward to finding a happy medium.
Great.
Oh, one other thing too, so we understand, we were reading through everything together, understanding of whether it's front yard only or side yard, because when I was trying to get some clarification of where maybe on my property I could store it, I was told it was gonna be behind the back end of my property, behind the back line of my house, which, considering how far back my house is in the property and where that would put the RV, that would be really considerably out of range of even the street. I'd have to build probably a 75 or 100 foot driveway just to get to that spot of my property to do that. So even if we could find some arrangement, to be on the side of my house, that would even work as well.
That's exactly everything we want to vet through with our professionals to see what will work. We'll vet it, we'll get the report, and Thank you. Item 5 is our administrative report. Turn it over to our administrator, Mr. Gallo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members on the dais, citizens in the chamber, and those who are listening at home. I'll briefly synopsize some of the activities we've been working on and provide an update to the community. Obviously, we've been very busy dealing with the aftermath of the snowstorm. What a difference a week makes. Things are much improved today, but it was a very, very, very unexpected and large storm. Despite the forecasts, we were the epicenter. Freehold Borough, Freehold Township seemed to be the largest amounts in the state, and I think our Department of Public Works and Public Safety officers, police, everyone served admirably, and I think we made it through this storm okay. I also am happy to report that we received word today that the borough is getting a $1.1 million grant from the federal government for the purpose of refurbishing our water towers. Most people don't know the one. We have another one up on Reverend Sparks' property in the township, but that is ours as well. So both of them have to be scraped and repainted and cleaned out, and this is a job that we're hoping to get done for free with this grant, and with additional grant funding that we're in line for, we may just be able to make that happen. With regard to redevelopment, the Hometown Redevelopment Project is moving forward with their property acquisition. They've paid the money into court for the Broad Street School. They've closed on title to the former Bank of America property, and they're working to acquire the other additional properties so that they can move forward. We are also moving forward with them, identifying a location where we're going to build a temporary fire annex location and relocate that storage facility from its present location to a new location, and that will help us move forward with the project as well. The Victory Court redevelopment project is moving forward. This evening we have final approval for the redevelopment plan for Victory Court, and I know they're very eager to get started. 200 Park Avenue continues to be in resolution compliance. I need to find out what the sticking points are so we can get that going forward. I spoke with the prospective redeveloper for the Nestle's project, and he is still negotiating with the folks from Nestle's regarding some issues regarding the cleanup of the property, but he expects to move forward with his project, which is a manufacturing facility, which will include 250 to 300 high-paying jobs. So we look forward to that returning to the borough. We've been in conversations with the folks who bought the raceway, and they seem to be open to some of our suggestions. We're hopeful that a redevelopment plan can be drafted for introduction and approval over the course of the summer. And we have also 500 Park Avenue is up for approval of their redevelopment plan today. We have some extensive road resurfacing projects. Bond and Liberty Street will start as soon as the weather is over a certain temperature, hopefully the end of March or the beginning of April. We're also looking, we've received grant funding, and we're looking to commission jobs to resurface Robertsville Road, Mead, and Runyon roads, as well as some short streets, Elm, Patton, Michael, Pittenger, and some work on Center Street. We are also going to be installing some new beacons at the crosswalks in the mid-block crosswalk in the downtown shopping district, as well as Throckmorton facing east. That is funded, and the plans are under review at NJDOT. As soon as they give us the green light, we can go out to bid for that. And finally, we're applying for grant funds to resurface Kingsley, which I know is on the minds of a few people who live in that neighborhood. We also have extensive park projects about to begin, including an inclusive park playground structure at Lenore Street Park, refurbishment of the playground equipment at Musgrave Park, the installation of a staircase at Veterans Park. We're looking for additional funding to advance our soccer mini pitches at Wilson Field, and we're also going to do phase 2 of the Liberty Street Park, which will involve pickleball installation and new playground structure. Improvements are underway at the Court Street School. They're making good progress, and they should be finished well before the appointed deadline. We are in for a grant for Lake Toponimus to improve water quality. Chairman Kane has identified a method of advancing the objectives of the water quality study that we completed to improve water quality and reduce vegetation growth. And we think it's a good idea, so we applied for grant funds. We're expecting to hear from that in the near future. The clerk's office is working on online code, which should be completed in the relatively near future. We're moving our wayfinding project forward with the parking utility. The lead service line replacement project has been approved through the iBank, which means that we'll be able to complete this project with forgivable funds, meaning we don't have to pay a portion of the funds back to the state for the financing of that project. We're ordering signs for our historic trails project, which will be locations related to the Battle of Monmouth. There'll be a brochure and a website and a hiking trail that will be available for people to enjoy in the community and to learn a little bit about our history. We're going to be scheduling a community meeting with the folks over in Brentwood and Barcelo to go over the findings of 2 traffic studies that were done, one by our engineers, consulting engineers at Ingenuity, as well as our own police department that had substantially similar findings. And we will have a host of recommendations that can be done to try and calm traffic in that neighborhood. So we'll be moving that forward. And safe routes to schools. Oh boy. This is a project that's been a long time in the making. Our Councilwoman Jordan, along with our friends at Neighborhood Connections to Health and our friends at the schools, have been doggedly pursuing this, and we received grant funding for this project. Unfortunately, it is a difficult program to work with. It's funded with federal money, and you ever wonder why the toilet bowl seats cost $500 and the screwdrivers are, like $150? It's because of the bureaucracy that they put on these things. And there is a whole host of things that we have to do in advance of this project, but we've identified an engineering firm who has been pre-qualified by the state of New Jersey and approved by them, and the state will pay for them as part of this project. So we're going to be moving forward with that. That's down at DOT being reviewed right now, but I expect they'll approve us. And the state also hired a consultant to help us through this process because it's that complicated. One of the things that we're required to do is to provide daily inspection by a borough employee who took a course called the Responsible Charge Training. And very fortunately, Bobby Lithgow has taken that training. The mayor and I have both taken it in the past, and it's torturous. So I'm glad Bobby took it. So he'll be our responsible charge for that project, and we expect hopefully to have a design completed by summer and be out to bid over the course of the summer. So that just scratches the surface of everything that we've been up to. Certainly answer any questions that you may have, or we can move the agenda.
I just have, just a comment and a question. As for the Safe Routes to School, I think that's been 8 years in the making.
Sure.
8 years. And when we had the initial meeting with them, we said, well, when can we expect some shovels on the ground? I said, 2 to 3 years more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is arduous to say the least.
I'm glad you were at that meeting. Otherwise, you wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah.
The actual first Safe Route to School plan was put together in 2011.
Yeah. And I think Lynn was there before that. And just, Steve, I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but last meeting we had some of the residents in from Ann, and we had promised them we would take a little deep dive. They talked about sidewalks and traffic flow. Are we working on that?
Yes, we are. We did visit the location, and with the snow, it was definitely problematic. Councilwoman Schutzer also visited both streets, and we had a conversation about it. I've asked our borough engineer to give me a proposal to conduct a traffic study. The street is very narrow, and there is an interesting intersection where apparently the people are not stopping, and we've ordered one of those illuminated stop signs just to remind people that they need to stop there. But we will have a study and a report done that will detail what our options are. The suggestion that was made by the residents who came was that we make one street one way and West George Street the other way. And I don't know that the residents are going to like that. I think it's something that we have to have a high degree of communication with those folks. And, you know, this is their neighborhood, so they should be involved in making that decision. We're also, the police department is checking the records with regards to accidents and those types of things. So we'll look at all the data, and we'll come up with a recommendation, and then we'll vet it in the neighborhood. That's going to be ongoing into the spring, but we are definitely following up on that. I think it was Mr. Luth who was here, a guy named Reimer Luth, who should do what he tells you to do. It's got an interesting name.
So I actually looked at those streets, and I agree they're very narrow. And then it, got me thinking other streets I drive around, like Lockwood, and like those streets that, you got Robertsville, which is two ways. It may be there might be other places in town that it may, and then it may allow for people to park,
Sure.
park in, I don't know, but I think it's,
Having one-way street?
yeah. I know it may upset people, but it's worth exploring. It's definitely, it can
Sure.
make
We
it
also
easier.
have to apply the law of unintended consequences
Well, we have to, yes.
to make sure we're not making the
There's
situation
a lot of
worse.
narrow streets that
Sure. That's correct.
Any other questions, Steve? Great, thank you. Item 6 is the approval of minutes, council meeting February 2nd, 2026.
I'd like to move that.
I'll second, please.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers? Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, minutes of council meeting February 2nd, 2026 are approved. Item 7 is a second reading public hearing ordinance 2026-3, adopting the redevelopment plan entitled 500 Park Avenue redevelopment plan. This is a second reading public hearing. I'd like to open it up to the public. If anyone from the public care to address this ordinance, please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
Seeing no public comments, I'd like to close the public portion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, public portion is closed. We have a resolution adopting ordinance 2026-3 and authorization of publication.
I'd like to move that.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2026-3 is adopted. Item 8 is a second reading and public hearing ordinance 2026-4, adopting the amended redevelopment plan entitled Nestle Redevelopment Plan. Again, it's a public hearing, second reading. If anyone from the public here to address this ordinance, please step forward, name and address for the record.
Seeing no public comments, I'd like to close the portion of public comments.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Public portion is closed. We have a resolution adopting ordinance 2026-4 and authorization of publication.
I'd like to move that.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2026-4 is adopted. Item 9 is a second reading and public hearing ordinance 2026-5, adopting the amended redevelopment plan entitled 26-28 Court Street and 2-6 Broad Street redevelopment plan.
Mr. Mayor, I'm gonna step down from the dais as I'm the property seller.
Sure. Again, second reading, public hearing. If anyone from the public here to address this ordinance, please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
Seeing no public comments, I'd like to move that we close the public session.
Second, please.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes.
Okay, the public portion is closed. We have a resolution adopting ordinance 2026/5 and authorization of publication.
I'll move that.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Abstain.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2026/5 is adopted. Item 10 is the second reading of public hearing ordinance 2026/6, amending Title 19 Affordable Housing of the Borough of Freehold Code of Ordinances to address the requirements of the Fair Housing Act, the Uniform Housing Affordability Controls, also known as UHAC, and to comply with the borough's Round 3 and Round 4 affordable housing obligations. Again, second reading, public hearing. Anyone care to address this, please step forward, name and address for the record.
Hearing no public comments, I'd like to move that we close the public session.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes.
Okay, we have a resolution adopting ordinance 2026/6 and authorization of publication. Francie, do we need to do anything here, or just vote on this? Need to
Just vote on it.
anything? Okay. Okay, on to the discussion. Do we move and second that? Can we
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Discussion.
Yes. I just want to say, it doesn't necessarily mean everybody agrees with this, but we are conforming with the law, correct?
Any further discussion?
What's your case?
I want to just take a moment, thank our professionals on all levels, Steve and the lawyers, everyone, the planners, yeah. I agree, not everyone necessarily agrees with this, how this process works statewide. It is a mess. But being able to get this settled to avoid builder remedy lawsuits is beneficial to every single resident in this town. So I'm glad that this process is nearing the end of the tunnel.
For now.
Well, yeah, for this round.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes.
Ordinance 2026/6 was adopted, and I personally would like to thank Francie and Barney, everybody involved with this process. This has been a nightmare, to say the least. So, thank you to everybody for all your hard work on this. We really appreciate it.
Almost there, yeah.
Okay, item 11, first reading and introduction ordinance 2026/7, amending and supplementing chapter 18 zoning by amending chapter 18.07 of the Freehold Center Core redevelopment plan.
I'll move this.
Second?
Discussion?
Yes, this is a change in the ordinance to have instructional studios permitted within the downtown zone only.
I've got a comment too. I'm actually shocked that this wasn't already in it. I mean, we already have dance studios. We have, this stuff, language, this stuff is already happening, so I'm glad that this is being added.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2026/7 is introduced. Item 12 is the first reading and introduction ordinance 2026/8, amending chapter 18 zoning with borough code in order to amend regulations for parking.
I'll make the motion to approve that, please.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yes, this is in conjunction with the previous ordinance. This sets the parking requirements for instructional studios.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 2026/8 is introduced. Item 13 is the first reading and introduction ordinance 2026/9 to amend and supplement Title 13 Public Services of the Code of the Borough of Freehold.
I'll move this.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I just want, I'm sorry, Margaret, to you. I just want to thank our Chief Financial Officer, Chris Lynn, for all his hard work on this, and appreciate all the time spent with us discussing it and looking after all the potential kinks that we have in the program.
And I was just gonna say the same, thank you, Chris, for all your hard work. While, you know, we never want to, you know, have to raise the rates, to do it consciously and thoughtfully is when we have to do it is the way we want to do it. So, I thank you for being patient with us and explaining everything to us and, allowing us to come up with a plan that will, you know, not put as much of a burden on our residents.
Any further discussion?
And just keep in,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
just keep in mind that we all of us pay water and sewer. So, any pain you feel, we feel.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, just to clarify, there's going to be one edit to 13.04.020B. Just to clarify that the 6-inch water service will be 7,000.
So we're gonna vote on that introduction with that change.
So, I'll
Okay,
make that motion.
okay, second,
I will second.
roll call please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yeah, not liking soft yes.
Friedman?
I have some questions I'd like to get answered before the second reading, but, I mean, yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yeah.
Okay, ordinance 2026-9 is introduced with that one change. Item 14 is our consent agenda. Just a note that matters listed under the item of consent agenda are required to conduct the day-to-day operation of the borough and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired of any items, that item will be considered separately. Would someone like to move consent agenda items CR1 through CR13?
I'll do that, Mayor.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yeah.
Okay, our consent agenda items CR1 through CR13 are adopted. That's the end of our consent agenda. Item 15 is the approval of bills.
I make a motion that we pay our bills.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Friedman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schutzer?
Yes.
Okay, our bill list for this evening's meeting is approved. Item 16, public comments. Like to open up to the public. If anyone from the public care to address the governing body, make a comment to the governing body, please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
Hello again. George Schnurr, 307 Park Avenue. Freehold Borough's Code Department has become, in my opinion, a real point of pride for our community and this administration. And the recent work around snow removal compliance shows just how much their efforts really matter. Residents and business owners alike are clearing their sidewalks more consistently, creating a noticeable improvement in safety and accessibility throughout our municipality. This isn't just about neat, passable walkways. It's about ensuring that no one is forced to walk in the street because a sidewalk has not been shoveled. In a walking school district like ours, that commitment makes an enormous difference for children traveling to and from school, giving families peace of mind and helping students move around Freehold Borough safely. The department's diligence, responsiveness, and steady communication to the residents has elevated community standards, and the results are visible every time you step outside after a snowfall. Please pass along my thanks to the men and women of the Code Department. There is a big difference compared to a couple years ago. The other thing I'd like to mention, since we're talking about code, is that I built a 12-foot fence, and then the code department noticed me and said, "You can't do that, George. There's a mechanism in place. I can go to the planning board, correct? Okay, and get a Class D variance. If I also paved my entire front lawn, so I could have additional parking, and then the code department said, you know, George, you didn't look at the existing law. You can't do that because of the impervious coverage. There's a way I can go about handling that. I can go and get a Class D variance through the planning board, just like anybody else that decides to get an RV or a boat, and then finds out after the fact that there's already existing laws in place. So the point I'd like to make is, we already have an existing mechanism to be able to handle these sorts of things. Thank you, have a nice evening.
Thank you. Any, okay.
Happy birthday, Yolanda.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Nice.
Yolanda Kerr, 54 Bond Street, Freedom, excuse my voice, Polish. Well, I respect all the codes, but when it snows like this, I have heart problems, and I don't have no one really living with me. So sometimes I gotta pay somebody to do it, or the neighbors, we each help each other. But I can't get it done right after the snowfall, whatever you say. Otherwise, my February be having me fall down. And, so I gotta take time to find somebody to help me clean the snow, cause I can't go out there. I tell Ann don't go out there neither, cause she said, you business with me. But, if it gets a little more time in it, then it can get done. I had a guy that come around, but he lost his, but anyway, just give it a little more time to where if you come around my street and you don't see my thing clean, give me time to get that cleaned off. Cause it's gonna take a while till I can find somebody or pay somebody to do it. Okay?
Hopefully we don't have to worry about it anymore this year.
I don't want to know more.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Not going to.
That just sinks it. Sorry, Steve.
Okay, but that's all I gotta say. I just want a little more time. If it comes to where sometimes, I remember one time it rained, it's over on Easter, that was years ago. So I'm not saying what it's gonna do or not, but I'm just saying a little more time.
Thank you.
Just so you know, for this storm, they extended it from 24 hours to 48.
Okay, that's still not good for me. And I need
Fair
double
enough.
that.
Fair enough.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
if I may, I did receive, I think, calls from virtually every council member about taking it easy on people, understanding that even the guys who are contracted to shovel or to snow blow just couldn't get ahead of this. So we actually started issuing warnings on Thursday and Friday, and I think most people reacted to that, but we did not issue a large amount of summonses. I don't think we had to.
And the Human Relations Advisory Committee, we're trying to come up with a plan to help people in this situation like you're in, where you can't get out there right away. Unfortunately, we're not getting a lot of traction, but we're trying to figure out how we can do that and help, people who just don't have the ability to go out there and clean their sidewalks.
I would like to see y'all, I won't be out there shoveling, then that's in the Yolanda. Y'all gonna miss me, but the thing about it, I don't wanna go out there and have a party.
No, absolutely. We don't want you to either.
So I go for surgery Monday, so please just keep me in your prayers.
Will do. What I was gonna say too is the planning that went into this prior to the storm. Once, on Saturday morning, put it this way, Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock, the weather was showing 1 inch of snow on Sunday and 1 to 3 on Monday. We woke up Saturday morning and it was 180-degree pivot where it was, now they're measuring, you're getting somewhere between 2 and 3 feet of snow. So we had all holiday, Monday, Tuesday. And the effort that went in, I was gonna say the chief, between code enforcement and our police department, they were actually knocking on doors, asking people to move cars and tell them. And then we had many discussions after the snowfall about how we were gonna take time and let people work. There was nowhere to put this stuff. So we understand exactly what you're saying. But if you don't have it in place, like Steve talked about, the unintended consequences or collateral damage, if you don't enforce it, nobody will do anything. So we gotta, but, you gotta use your head, use common sense in this, and everybody up here was making sure, we adhere to that, so. We hear you.
Okay,
Thank you, good luck with your surgery.
thank you.
Thank you.
And White, 48 Bond Street. It's about the same thing, but the only thing is, when the plow comes through, after you walk in your walkway, that stuff was heavy. Heavy.
It was very heavy.
And I had to take breaks to get that. And so me and my neighbor, my nephew came up from Howell to help me out. But it's just, the borough has a couple of problems. Parking. Everybody knows that problem. They went on all side streets, cause I don't know, Locke was almost in arguments about the parking, cause there is no parking over there. My street, I'm pretty good right now, but every now and then, I can't get in my driveway because somebody come down and block my driveway. Then the parking is the main thing, and too many restaurants is another thing. It's gotta be some breaks, because we don't need no more restaurants. I'm sorry, we don't need no more restaurants. Every time we turn around, somebody steps up there, they want to open up another restaurant. We do not need another. I think it's more revenue, but it's more headache because we have that parking lot problem. So that's all I gotta say, just the parking. Have a good night.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public care to address the governing body?
Hi, Andrea Barita, 236 Park Avenue. I just wanted to say thank you to Mr. Mayor and the council for renewing the TNR program. It has been very successful in the towns. The residents are really using it. They appreciate it. It's making our community safer, cleaner with the animals. As of today, the number is 101 we did so far. 45 of that number was just kittens alone. So I just wanted to say thank you. We listened to all the residents, we appreciate it. And also, I did come here a couple months ago with an issue on my street, Park Avenue, with the cars in front of the house, the safety issue with the church. And I would say maybe a week later, it was fixed. It was all cleared up. There were signs put out. Mr. Gallo, thank you. I know you were part of that. So today was my appreciation and just saying thank you to everybody. You listened, you heard me, and it was with the safety issue, it was a week later, signs were up like that, and everything was fixed. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Real quick, while we have you here.
Yes.
Part of the TNR program was to eventually see the colonies start to diminish.
Yes.
Is that happening?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Once one path is fixed, that's it, cycle stops. We're right now in a process with, I'm on Ward Street right now. There's an issue, I'm not sure what happened, must have missed, I don't know how we missed it, but we missed the litter of kittens, and now they're all having fun, and we have a neighbor that reached out, she has traps, she's going through a program, she's trapping, it's actually an older woman, she's trapping, she calls me, pick them up, we drop them off at the SPCA. We have another neighbor on Main Street that helps with the transport. She'll transport them there. And then between me and her, we'll go and pick them up, so we have other people in the town volunteering to transport too, and we're getting them all fixed. But right now, we're on 4th Street, because there's, a couple over there, like, we miss the litter, and it starts to happen all over again. So, we're on it, but people are reaching out, and they're using the program, and it's working. So, thank you.
And I think but Andrea is actually our volunteer that works with the SPCA, our representative from the borough. So she's established a great relationship with Lorraine. What's her name at the SPCA?
Corinne.
Corinne. And she established a very good, and they have a whole rhythm going, how many cats come in, how many go out, so thank you.
Yes, no, thank you.
Don't touch my cats. I got 2 stray cats. One was born under my house, so he has no family. But I did go upstairs and get everything straightened out, so this way you see the food there or something like that. I'm feeding him because he's doing his job catching whatever is back there. So don't touch my cats, they good. They know the neighborhood and they know what time to eat.
Anyone else in the public care to make comments to the government body?
Seeing no comment, further comment from the public, I move the public portion closed.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Freeman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Rice?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Shelton?
Yes.
Our public comment section is closed. Item 17 are council reports and comments. I'm just gonna change this up a little bit. Let Councilwoman Schutzer go first, because she has to go represent us at another event. So, I ask Councilmember Schutzer.
And I'm proud to do so. This is Reach Across America Week, so we will be going into the schools and reading, and it's always a wonderful highlight of our jobs to do this. I'm proud to announce that the McGaffin Award winners this year are volunteer Wendell Everett. The business person is Keith Lewis of Sweet Lou's, and our organization being recognized is Foodstock. If you don't know Foodstock, you need to get to know Foodstock and participate with everything they do, providing for our folks. And that particular recognition, all the ticket information will be coming out in April. It will be May 21st at the American Hotel, $25 a ticket, and it's always a lovely evening. We will have tickets. My personal thanks to DPW, the police officers, the firefighters, and the first aid, and all of our employees who work so hard with the planning, the OEM meetings, and the planning for this storm. Steve, and for the leadership of the mayor getting us through this. We don't have to say this is really, it's not unprecedented, because we have had storms. Some people might not be old enough to remember them, but we've had bad storms. But this one was horrible, and our neighbors, our helping each other. It was a bad situation that was handled very well. There are always going to be problems. Open Door has moved from Throckmorton Street at St. Peter's, their little strip mall, not that little strip there, to Throckmorton Street, the old Hillpots building. And Annette and I were fortunate enough to be given a tour of the new building, the new facility last week. And it is very impressive, and we hope that you will keep your contributions coming so that they can function, keep functioning as well as they do. And I have three flyers that I wanted to, one of them is the mayor was going to speak about mobile office hours for our LD 11 assembly folks, and this will be tomorrow at our library from 10 o'clock till 1 o'clock. Our assembly folks will be there, and they will give and help with information on property tax relief, veterans benefits, utility assistance, my goodness. Have you opened your heating bills? Disability services, state agencies, and more. Additionally, we have a couple of course, and I have the flyers and I can't find them, so they aren't for a while. I left them out on the thing, so look at those and we'll be talking more about those later. And thank you to my colleagues and to you for understanding that I have to run. Well, not running, but thank you. And if any of you have something that you want for me to address, give your name and number to our clerk and I'll return your call.
Thank you.
Good night, Sharon.
Thank you. Council President Freeman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I want to address the snow response. It was a long storm. The guys are out there a very long time. I really want to thank the police, parking utility people, code enforcement. They went around. They got a lot of cars off the street. You know, I think it went very. Could it be better? Everything's going to always be better, but I think they really, for a first really big push at this new kind of enforcement policy, I think it went really well. So please, thank you guys very much. It was a very long storm. Laying down salt or anything when it was raining for the 4 hours before just wouldn't have done anything with the roads. You talked about the plows plowing you in. We all know what that's like. You know, if they're not close enough to the curb, it's a problem. If they're too close to the curb, it's a problem. These poor snowplow guys, they get it going and coming, but I really appreciate their hard work. The new code enforcement team is, you know, there are gonna be these things that come up with the campers, and I guarantee there's gonna be other things. I understand the frustration and wanting to figure out a solution. I'm happy to see that this new code enforcement division is out there looking, seeing, following, you know, doing what they're supposed to be doing, even if we can maybe tweak some things. But the sidewalks, it was a marked difference, and I sent an email to the code team thanking them for it's clear their efforts are making a difference throughout town. And we're gonna see that continue, and it's gonna address some of the there's other things happening in that department now, that investigations that take time. So we will see more things happening. So that's really good. A couple great events coming up. Flavor of Freehold next week, pub crawl, and there's a little parade on the 15th. St. Patrick's Day parade, so join us downtown for the parade. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember DiBenedetto.
Yes, I would like to also thank our DPW. It's one thing when we're young and we see the snow, we have no school, we don't have a care in the world, and it's a great thing. And then you get older and you get on council and you have public safety meetings, you have OEM meetings, you have, if this happens, it's a pain in the rear end. So I'd rather be a little kid and see the snow come. But my thanks to the police department, to great job, the fire department, who, if you didn't know, manned a plow so the police, the fire could get on the calls they went to. Just the little things that made a big difference in our lives that we didn't know about. I would just like to thank everybody. Steve, thanks for heading our meetings and continuing, trying to please the people. It was a tough one. So many thanks to everybody involved. To the Beck family and to the Ginn family, both longtime names in Freehold Borough. My condolences to Mrs. Beck, my condolences to Roger Ginn. If you want to read one of the most heartfelt obituaries, read Roger Ginn's. He's at Higgins. He'll be due later on, but if you want to see heartfelt in what he was about and read his obituary. It was one of the best obituaries and nicest I've ever seen out there. Also, there's a couple other things I wanted to say. I'm going to call it a night, and I can't wait for the water towers to get done. I can't wait for Jeff to climb up there and put that mural he always wanted to put up there with the art scouts.
Yeah, that'd be great.
No, come on downtown Freehold. I went to Belmar yesterday, and they started the festivities, so Freehold Borough does it the right way also. Come on down and enjoy our downtown. Thank you all for coming out.
Thank you. Councilmember Jordan.
Thank you. I just want to just take a moment or two to thank our employees, our fire department, our police department, code department, and to our residents. You know, we put out a call that we needed your help on this storm, and every resident just rose to the occasion, moved their cars, helped their neighbors, and we appreciate it. It was a community that came together, and we appreciate everything that went on. I do, anyhow. And Mike's right. It's like every time I talked about the storm, I keep saying, "Oh my gosh, what's this going to cost? What's this going to cost?" But we got through, and it was a great job by all, and thank you. I want to thank the residents that came out tonight to talk to us. You know what, when we change things sometimes in the community, and like Jeff had talked about, and Mike had talked about, and Margaret, we were asked to take a look at code, and to say, hey, look, you know what, we're asking you to really put an emphasis on code and quality of life issues in the borough. And we responded to that, to the residents. And so now there's gonna be some pushback and some problems. So as they arise, hopefully we'll take a look at them like we talked about tonight. We'll see what can we do. You know, a lot of times you want to go back and take a look at some of these, these regulations that we have. Maybe they are outdated. Maybe there are some things that we can do. So absolutely, we'll take a look, and we appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Just a couple of housekeeping things that I have. For recreation news, our basketball league, the Freehold Borough Basketball League, will have their first annual All-Star Saturday this weekend, and then they're going to roll right into their playoffs and championship games that will be for every Saturday for the rest of March. And that will be at Park Avenue Complex. So if you have an opportunity to go on out, it's an opportunity. It's a great little league, and the kids are loving it. So yeah, come on out and take a look at our kids. Easter Bunny event is going to be Saturday, April 4th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in front of the firehouse. That's always a lot of fun. The bunny shows up on the fire truck, and then all the kids, not only do they get a little prize for coming, a little photo with the bunny, but you can also take photos on the fire trucks as well. It's a great little event. Our borough-wide yard sale is going to be May 9th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And the rain date will be at the discretion of the people who are participating. We're saying you can do it on the 10th, but really any day you want to do it. So that if you want to add, we also have that weekend, because all other events in May, May 16th is the mayor's cleanup, and then we have Memorial Day, we have Porch Fest, so we try to keep everything, every day, every weekend day in May, there's something going on. So hopefully everybody will jump out and enjoy what's going on in this town. For summer camp, we only have 11 spots left. You have to register your child online, and it has to be paid in full in order for us to put your child's name on the books. We're also hiring, camp counselors. I believe it's $15 an hour. You can go on our website, and they can apply there. Little League, we're looking for coaches, so take a look at the Little League website. You can join, you can sign up there if you'd like to coach, or if you have any kids in the league and you have a little bit extra time. And our vets program, our next round of our street signing will be in Memorial Day, in and around Memorial Day. We're not going to do it on Memorial Day, it's just way too much. And we'll be honoring 6 veterans that day, so more to come on that, more information. We will have the names as soon as I have them given to me. I'll get them out to everybody. But thanks for coming out tonight, appreciate it.
Thank you. Councilmember Rogers.
Thank you. Again, thanks everyone for coming out tonight. We always appreciate hearing from our residents, whether it's an issue or whether it's something that makes you happy. it is very important for us to keep the lines of communication open, so we do appreciate you coming out and sharing your concerns and thanking, your thank yous. A couple things, we have, a young lady, she came to a, council meeting, a month or so ago, and she, her name is Sephora Noisette, and she's a junior at Howell, and she's a Freehold Borough resident, and she's being recognized tonight. She received the 2026 Princeton Prize in Race Relations for the Central and Southern New Jersey region. This is a national award, and it recognized her for her work as a founder of TAIL, which is Teaching All Literary Equity, an inclusive student-led initiative that offers diverse voices from high school students reading meaningful literature to very young readers from multiple ethnicities. Sephora, if you meet her, you will never forget her. She's a very energetic, very smart young woman, and I just wanted to share that she received this award. We had a representative go for us since we had our council meeting tonight. So there is someone there from Freehold Borough to support her and to recognize. And anytime that we have a student that accomplishes something, we want to recognize them. We want to call them out and let people know that our youth are not. We have hope. Put it that way, because they are working hard to create a society that they can be proud of. So a couple other things. This Friday night is the first showing of Footloose, which is the play that the Freehold High School Drama Club is doing. So Friday it'll be at 7 p.m. and also Saturday at 1 and 7. On April 11th, the Human Relations Advisory Committee is doing their Unity Community Walk. That will be at 12 p.m. As of right now, it will begin at Court Street School, but since Court Street School is under construction, we just have to make sure it's safe. If not, we will pick another starting location. But as of right now, that is our starting location, and we will walk from the Court Street School down to the public library. The library has a lot of exciting programs this month. They have parenting programs, they have book group, they have gardening programs. So please take a moment to go and look at their calendar, because there might be something that could be of interest to you. And don't forget to spring forward this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Time to go up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you all for sticking with us tonight. Both residents in the room, online, and our professionals, we really appreciate you being in the audience. I'd also like to echo the sentiments to our DPW, our police, our fire, our code, and all those involved in making sure that we were able to recover quickly from this blizzard. Thankfully, we don't get tested like this once every 30 years. I think I had about 5 conversations about the blizzard of '96 with my neighbors as we were clearing out. I would say that I think the next time we have a storm like this, we need to talk to our residents about helping out our fire department by clearing out fire hydrants. I know they were going through after the storm opening the fire hydrants, but if you have a fire hydrant in front of your house, near your house, and you have the ability to do so, kind of clear a little space around it. And I will just slight chastising. In the middle of a couple rounds of shoveling out on Monday, I went with our kids over to Veterans Park to go sledding, and there were not enough kids sledding. There's only 2 families, and there's only like 3 sledding trails down the hill. And so it's a snow day. You got to go out and sled. So next snowstorm we have, I want to see more people at Veterans Park sledding.
Next year.
Next 30 years. Next 30 years. Next 30 years. Right. 30 years.
Your kids.
Our grandkids. Yeah, our grandkids will be sledding. The Memorial Day Parade Committee is hosting an evening of music featuring the Orchestra of St. Peter's by the Sea, conducted by Father Alphonse Stevenson, in celebration of the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. It will be Saturday, May 16th at 7 p.m. at the First Presbyterian Church of Freehold. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Tickets are $45 per person. You can also go on Downtown Freehold's website, and they are hosting an online payment portal to purchase the ticket through a credit card if you'd like to go. There's a fee associated to that. Thank you to Downtown Freehold for supporting us. The committee is also looking on setting up some shuttling services to and from the Park Avenue Elementary School and the Lafayette Street area that night to allow people to go downtown and have a dinner before coming to the show, or to park by the school and get over to the concert and then back. We'll have some more information about the shuttle services as we get closer, but you'll see flyers up online around buildings downtown and also to the Borough Happenings website. If you'd like to attend, we'd love to have you come out. They were here 2 years ago for the 150th anniversary parade, and it was a fantastic evening of music, so please come out and join us again. Aside from today being Yolanda's birthday, happy birthday again, it is also Dr. Seuss's birthday. Today starts Read Across America. As Councilwoman Schatzer said, that a number of us are going to be in the schools reading to our school children this week. But I just want to leave you with this line from Dr. Seuss. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you will go. So I hope as we go home tonight, we take this opportunity to take a book and read. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Just real quick, I forgot to add my thank you to all of those involved in the management of this snowstorm, and I do appreciate all the work that was done. Thank you.
Thank you. I think the key word was go home.
Yes.
Real quick, I just want to thank everyone for coming out also. We hit on a little bit, but the planning that went into this storm, every storm you learn something new, but the planning that went into this one, the big emphasis was on the communication. And if you noticed, there were constant blasts going out. We talked about snow, when the plows come and plow your driveway that you just shoveled. We had a communication about that, like just, hey, listen, you're gonna get out there, there's gonna be a lot of snow, but there's a good chance that the plows are gonna have to keep coming and coming and coming, and you may get plowed in again. So, it's just something that always happens, but, I'm looking at this corner over here of our professionals here. Everybody, and Steve, Tracy, and Lynn, everybody puts in a lot of effort here to do whatever we can to make our residents comfortable and keep them informed on what we were doing. And the communication that went out this time for this storm was second to none, in my opinion. I mean, there was just constant communication. So, and like many council members said, thank you to the residents for listening and helping out. We talked about shoveling out fire hydrants. If there's a hydrant in front of your house, you want to make sure everything's clear just in case something happens. That's just, common sense to say, help out with that fire hydrant. But there's a lot of neighbors helping neighbors. I know, like, our whole street was out, right when the snow stopped. So thank you to everybody involved. And one more thank you. People have no idea what went into this affordable housing litigation for years and years and years. And we are this close to being completely finished. This action we took tonight was our last step. It's got to go to court, get the court to bless it, and we're good to go. But thank you to everybody involved in this. Mark, Barb, Francie, just a lot of work, and we appreciate everything you guys do. So that being said, we'll go back to Dr. Seuss and be safe going home. There being no further business, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Freeman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schuster?